Is it possible to build an iMac, competitive and fast, all in for under $100? Well, you're about to find out. So here's another exciting story about buying iMacs. I found an ad on Facebook for a 2013 for $50 with a crack in the screen, and I thought that was a pretty good deal. After having bad luck with the 2014 and the 2017 was a little too expensive, I figured I could buy a couple more and flip them and make profit to pay for the 2017. The funny thing is, they all look identical from 2012 to 2017. At first glance, you can't really tell the difference. So when I arrived to pick up the iMac, the seller wasn't there, and it was a surplus store where they had a bunch of old computers and stuff that they pick up for free. And so he pulled out this 2012 and said that the 2013 had already been sold. So I said, well, what do you want to do? Because I drove all the way here and I need to come away with something or else I just wasted my gas. So he said, make me an offer on this one. I looked it up. It was a 2012 with a NVIDIA chip, and it only had a little crack on the screen, a very little one. So I offered him $35 and he said, take it. And here we go.
A few moments later.
Here we are, the 2012 iMac that was purchased for $35. I wanted to just take a minute and peek around in here. We've done the 2009, 2011, 2014, 2017. This is the first 2012. And I'm just doing this now so I can compare each year. I'm just going to make a video about each one so I can just see the differences, so that when I buy in the future, I know what to look for. And here's the specs. I forgot what they were. So 2012 late. OS Catalina, that's good. 2.7 quad core Intel i5. So that's decent. 8 gigabytes, DDR3, internal hard drive, has an external GPU or extra GPU. I'm not sure what you call it. The GT640M512. So I found something interesting. The 2014 that I bought for $60, which was a very good deal. It seems like the specs are less. It has the 1.5 i5, same memory, and then an integrated graphics. So I'm kind of curious now, because the 2014 that I bought ran terribly. And I almost wonder now, if you were to buy an older model for cheaper and then upgrade it, basically making it the same price as the newer one, would that be the better way to go? Because that one was $60, and then I upgraded the SSD hard drive, which you would say is about $30. So basically $100. But this one was only $35. So in theory, $35 versus $100, we have enough money to buy the SSD and upgrade the memory. And you have a dedicated graphics. The only downside is you can't run newer software. Catalina, I think, is the latest version for 2012. Otherwise, you would have to patch it to something newer, like Ventura. So that's a good debate. I didn't know. I'm new to this, and you guys can tell. I just thought newer. if I saw a 2012 and a 2014 for the same price, I'm going to take the 2014. But it turns out 2014 sucks. So this is almost a better way to go. Or maybe you don't need the newer software. If Catalina is fine, then that's it. But here's the interesting part. So the 2014 that I bought, the hard drive speed on the read was 48. This one's 97. And I'm guessing that this one has been used less, because you'll see hard drives, spinning hard drives, degrade over time. When it's brand new, it'll perform a lot better, and then when it's several years old, you'll see it just decline in speed. And I really don't remember why that is, but 100 is normal. This is what it should be. This is what I would consider to be acceptable. In this case, because we're going to just sell this to someone else, there's really no reason to put SSD in, because it's running at the speed that it should be running. So let's turn that off. The other thing is the 2017 that I bought, which I still think is too much money for $150. Also, the hard drive speed on that was 48. And these all have pretty much the same type of hard drives, right? Say, I think they're Hitachi storage. This one doesn't say the brand, just says Apple HD. That's HT. That's Hitachi. As far as I know, all of these Apples come with Hitachi hard drives, unless it's some upgraded version. And so what I did on the 2017 is I left the terabyte inside because I didn't want to open it, and then I put this SSD as a boot drive with the USB 3.0. And so that's pretty much what you should do in this case as well. It runs about 450-ish on the USB 3, and then you just kind of leave it, behind the computer, and then you still have the 1 terabyte hard drive. If you were to put the SSD inside, it would get maybe 500, 560. But the convenience of not having to open the screen is definitely worth it to lose a little bit of speed. And also you can keep your drive safe, you can have backup drives, whatever. And so I think this is fine. This might be better than the 2014. Let me know what you think. I think that this may have been, I don't know what the spec availability was on the 2012s. This was the first year of the new thin ones. And I guess it says late, so I don't know if there was an early one as well. And so here are the specs available for the 2012, late 2012, 21-inch. So it looks like there weren't too many options. You had 2.7 and then the 2.9. I've heard of there being an i7. I've never seen one personally, but they're out there. I've seen some advertised online, but yeah, so they come with 8 gigabyte stock, 2.7 gig what I have, comes with the 1 terabyte 5400. The 2.9 is the same, but the Fusion drive was available. So in theory, see, this is the thing. When you go online and you're trying to buy these people will say, oh, it's a 2012, and then they don't know the specs. And you don't know the specs. It could be wildly different. It could be this, which is, I thought was upgraded. This is actually the base model. Or it could be an i7. Or it could have a Fusion drive, which is the SSD standard hard drive hybrid, which would be awesome if that was here. And then they both have the NVIDIA graphics. Same camera, same speakers. It's got Thunderbolt, USB 3, SD card slot. So definitely what I did was, before I bought it, I looked up the serial number to get the specs just to make sure that it was what it was. And of course it was not the 2013 that I went to buy, it was something else. So you have to be careful because once again, they all look the same. 2012, 2013, 14, all look identical from the exterior if you don't turn it on. If you see one at a yard sale or a swap meet, you have to be able to look up the specs. Or if it's cheap, it doesn't matter. In this case, 35 bucks, it really wouldn't have mattered either way as long as it turns on. So there you go. There's a lot of these for sale. I would suggest poking around, buy a couple, sell them for more, and make a little money.